podcast. This is of the movie 1980s movie Krull. Yeah, I did Space Hunter, Adventures of the Forbidden Zone. So now we're doing Krull. This is 2 hours and 5 minutes. So let's get to it. It's a long movie. It's like almost as long as Star Wars, basically. But unlike Star Wars, this movie was a flop. It has a cult following, but it's one of those movies that just didn't find an audience when it came out because Peter Yates directed this. Yeah. There's that boomerang thing. Plus, this had a cast of unknowns at the time. Brawl, yeah. Didn't see this one as a kid because it kind of like, oh, I overlooked it. Ken Marshall, I never heard of him. Lisette Anthony, she's dubbed in this movie, but she was terrible in Look Who's Talking Now. You have a young Liam, I think Liam Neeson's in this movie, and yeah, this is when he was an unknown. He was really young. Robbie Coltrane, may he rest in peace. This is what he did before Harry Potter, Josh. Years before Harry Potter. Francesca Annis as the Widow of the Web. The Widow of the Web. The effects of this movie are pretty good. Yeah, it's cheesy, but this is a movie that knows what it is. It's still, I'd rather watch this any day over the sequel trilogy. It's shorter, it's less preachy, and there's no superhero characters in this. Yeah, it has an opening like Star Wars. Instead of a giant Star Destroyer, it's a giant rock. Two Suns. When Star Wars became a hit, everybody wanted to do Star Wars. It did Battlestar Galactica, Krull, Battle Beyond the Stars. Yeah, everything wanted to be Star Wars. Even Spaceballs parodied Star Wars and Star Trek and everything else. These effects still look good for 1980. It doesn't say. Actually, this is 2 hours and 1 minute. So without the end credits, it's like an hour and 50 some minutes. James Horner, may he rest in peace. He did the music in this movie before he worked with James Cameron and all these other people. I already did Ice Pirates and Spade Hunter and Galaxina, so this was next on my list. Mainly because it's about 2 hours. And I got to kill some time because it's Sunday. Peter Yates. Also, Masters of the Universe was, no, let's, subscribers, there we go. It's a good looking movie from I think it was 85, yeah, because this was after Star Wars was already complete, the original trilogy. But everybody wanted to be Star Wars at that time. Now nobody wants to be like that because after the Acolyte, people are just spent on Star Wars. Andor's coming back, but I don't care about Andor. I didn't see the first season. People say it's amazing. It's a bunch of people talking. It's not my Star Wars. I don't know who that is. The beast is at the end of the movie, so this creature in the front, you don't see it till the end of the film. So, see, Captain America: Brave New World is not the only movie to mislead people thinking that Red Hulk was in the movie a lot. He's not. You could tell this film was filmed somewhere else. Her hair's so frizzy here. I still prefer Karen Gillan because at least she doesn't dub her voice over. Well, one of her worst performances was Stuber because she's in the movie for less than 5 minutes. That was their fault, not hers. Yeah, I gotta block these people. I don't know who this is. I don't know these people. DC was dubbed over. I'm like, that's not her voice. Let's switch these boxes. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds nothing like her. We must have been. At least Carrie Fisher wasn't dubbed over. That's better. You could tell it doesn't sound. It just sounds like her. But hey, I'd rather her be dubbed than have to hear a British accent for 2 hours, because I'm not into those. I wish real subscribers would be on my chat, not these weirdos. That's why I'm shutting it off when I do Deadpool Wolverine. I don't need weirdos on my chat. That's a really good shot. They filmed this in the UK. You could tell. This isn't America. Where are these mountains? There's probably like Ireland or something. I don't know. And yes, I do know that this movie has a special edition. I'll eventually get it so I can hear the commentary. Has a yellow dress like Rebecca Ferguson. There he is, Ken Marshall. He looks like, who does he look like? Also, this movie looks like another movie of the 80s, Flash Gordon. Yeah, she has a soothing voice here. The voiceover for Lisette is, trust me, is soothing. I think she sounds more like Jennifer Connelly than Lisette. Oh, or another actress? Hell yeah. Like Anna de Armas? That's what she looks like, a British Anna de Armas. No. We're not 10 minutes into the movie and there's already a kiss. Han didn't kiss Leia to the second movie. Hey, it's heterosexual guys. Some people in the chat need to stop bothering. Yeah, they do. I didn't do these podcasts for weirdos. I like that dress. Looks like Elsa's dress at the end of Frozen 2. I did this podcast early because this movie's almost 2 hours. So I know you're a real heterosexual guy because you've been on a lot of my chats since last year, I think. Yeah. You know, this is why when directors do commentaries, they don't do it with people around. They do it in a studio far away from people while they watch the movie because it's just distracting when you have people showing up. I wish I could just keep the chat off forever, but then I can't talk to you, heterosexual guy, because or Spidey. It's a good looking movie. Like people didn't like this because they said it's a poor man's Star Wars, but I'm like Star Wars is a poor man's Star Wars now because of Disney. They made the wrong choices, firing directors that are capable, studio interference. You know, changing the endings of the movie, doing reshoots, casting the wrong actors. Yeah, and they wonder why the franchise is in trouble now. He's a firebender. Anyway, that's enough about Star Wars. This is about Krull. May 4th, I'm going to see the originals again. I'm seeing A New Hope. Again, I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater last year. This is the only thing I've liked Lisette and Anthony in. Everything else, no. Because then look who's talking now. She's just like, I want John Travolta, and that's it. That's her only motivation in the movie. She's the only actor in the movie that's dubbed over. Because no one else is. See, this is like the Stormtroopers. It's a medieval times period piece in space. You know, with space with sci-fi elements. That's probably why people were not interested because they. Excuse me. I think it's fun. It gives you what you want. It's really it's long, but it's not 2.5 hours like other sci-fi movies I had to endure in this decade. Sheesh. Yep, there's some blood. Looks like the creature from Stranger Things. I just finished the first 3 seasons. Once I get to season 4, I can review the whole series until we get to the new season. Because I have enough information to give my opinion on it. Because if I saw one season, I could have reviewed it. But I've seen 3, so I just got one more. There's good. Because medieval movies usually don't do well. Even Lord of the Rings hasn't done well in a while since the prequels to that. Because that animated movie was a bomb. It had a redhead chick that nobody cared about with none of the cast from the original films or The Hobbit. And not Peter Jackson directing it, so nobody cared, guys. No one wants to see a girl boss anymore. That failed. It's a trope that we're sick and tired of. We're not sick of female characters. That's a lie, because Inside Out 2 was great. But you got to make them interesting. Not boring girl bosses with no personalities that are invulnerable to damage. That's not realistic. It's a good fight scene. And no, Disney doesn't own this movie. It's a Columbia movie. So it's a Sony movie, isn't it? Columbia Pictures is owned by Sony, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Columbia does, the Ghostbusters movies, and they did the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Mm-hmm. Disney will never own them, never. Ouch. 15 minutes in. At least we're halfway through the month of April, because April's not long. It's pretty short, but some of the days were so slow. Yesterday felt like it would never end. I put a 2.5 hour movie and it was still going slow. I'm telling you, the pacing on a Saturday is like a snail. That's a good shot. It's a night shot, but I can see what's going on. This movie's not horrible. Like some people say, this is one of the worst films of the '80s. I'm sorry, I've seen way worse. This movie's not boring considering how long it is. Because there's some '80s films that I just didn't get. Like look at Star Trek Five. That's a bad movie because it's like the worst sequel of the '80s from Star Trek, and it's just boring, and the plot makes no sense. It's easily the worst of the original series from 1 to 6. Because 6 is really good. 4 was really good. 3 is decent. 2 is great. And the first one, while it's really slow, it has its moments. It was the first movie, so you could forgive some of its mistakes. But by 5, you should know better. Who's this, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah, he's putting some kind of a healing cream on him. Right on his hairy chest, because, yeah, I didn't get enough of that this month. Man meat. I would love to see this actor if he's still alive at Comic-Con. Because usually actors like this would get like a small table on the in the east part of the Javits Center. They don't get the main autographing hall. They don't go there because those are for the big A-listers, voice actors and such, and Marvel and DC actors. I know because I went several times. That's usually the first spot I go to, the autographing room. My Kingdom for a Spaceship. No, that's Jimmy Neutron. This has a huge cult following, though, this movie. So does Space Hunter, because it has a young Molly Ringwald before she became famous in the Breakfast Club and all that. The Black Fortress. Mm-hmm. Prince, the glaive. Yeah, that's the name of the boomerang. A flying blade capable of phenomenal powers. It's like the same thing that Blade has or Xena. Look, no CGI. I miss those days when they actually had real locations. Look at that. Because Peter Jackson, when he did Lord of the Rings, he went to real locations. It's not a CGI fest like some of the movies now, where everything looks like a video game cutscene or a cartoon. Look at Avatar. All those movies are just a CGI fest, where they might as well not be live action at all. Might as well just be animated. Of course not. At least this movie has actors that are still around, because a lot of people passed away this year so far. In 4 months, we lost so many people. The most recent one was an actor from Boston Public. He was 54 when he passed, so may he rest in peace. I don't know what happened. I'm glad I have a healthy heart. I've been sleeping a lot better now, because the last couple of weeks my arm was hurting. It doesn't hurt as much now, but it's healing possibly. And also, it's not as cold as it was in the wintertime. The score is good. James Horner's music is haunting. This film doesn't have a lot of creatures because it was a lower budgeted film from the 1980s, and they don't go to other planets like Star Wars, or Star Trek, or Guardians of the Galaxy. No, this movie didn't have that kind of budget yet. That movie was amazing because I'm like, it's basically what Star Wars should have been for Disney. Fun, energetic, comedic, heartfelt. A cast that doesn't look like they want to rip each other's head off. Non-foreign. James Gunn's not an idiot. You think his new Superman movie was going to have a bunch of foreigners? No, because he knows that they don't sell. Cavill didn't. David Cornsweet would. He's going to become a huge star. Flying as Superman. We all know it. I can feel it, man. July 11th, it couldn't be here any sooner, man. And yes, when that comes out on streaming or on Blu-ray, I'm going to get it and then do a podcast for it possibly by the end of this year or early next year. So, because I did all the Christopher Reeve movies and Superman Returns, and I just did a bunch of animated ones the last month or so. Look at those mountains. Unbelievable, man. The art of film, like you could see these beautiful locations and you don't even have to move. And unlike a Mission Impossible 2, this doesn't have a pacing of a snail, because this is basically the same running time. It's 8:46 in the morning. I haven't seen this movie in years. Because Space Hunter, I did a podcast for that like a year or two ago. I did it a while back. It wasn't this year, I know that for sure. And let's face it, I'm into weird sci-fi like this, or Space Hunter or Ice Pirates, because it's my favorite genre. So there's so many mixes of it that you can do that work for me. Sci-fi comedy, sci-fi action, sci-fi thriller, sci-fi drama, sci-fi musical. Yes, they've done those. Sci-fantasy. Fire. There's the glaive. It looks like a starfish. Don't touch that lava, it'll burn your hand. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not lava, it's just boiling water. There it is. It's not a sword, it's a boomerang. It's made of gold. That thing is probably worth a fortune. If you sell it on eBay, the glaive, the original prop from the movie. It's a cool looking weapon. This is not a lightsaber. It's a, like I said, it's like Blade's weapon. That boomerang thing that he throws in the first movie when he smiles, like, yeah. I don't know what that weapon is called, but look at that eye. The production of this movie is, yeah, still amazing even decades later. He does look like Ana de Armas. It's weird. At least she's cuter, and you know she has one of those faces that you want to just kiss all over, and those large, friendly eyes of hers. Hmm. Lisa. Hmm. Blind Emerald Cedar. The trees and the mountains. A waterfall. Whoa, what was that? It's water. Great, we have the comic relief of the movie. 29 minutes in. Where did this guy come from? Then it's never explained. Yeah, this guy's drunk. Don't say that. God, that's annoying. Sauce. That's what I don't like in this movie. Some of the accents. That effect was good, but you're not a Willow character. Sorry. Yep, a gray goose. It's a real bird. The goose is cute, but you're not. The effects are good for 1985 or whenever this came out. But this guy's accent, yeah, it's not good. No. Yeah, if he's so magnificent, why did he turn himself into a bird? 1983. I'm sorry, a heterosexual guy. Again, I wasn't born when this came out. It was right when Return of the Jedi came out, so it was right when it was about, Star Wars was about to end for over a decade until the prequels came out. Because the Ewoks movies don't count; they were theatrical. They weren't theatrical; they were TV. A Cyclops. Again, good effects. 1983. Yeah, my bad. I was close. I said 85. 85 had the Goonies and Back to the Future. 1983. Yeah, I made a mistake because again, that was before my birth. My brother was born when this movie came out. Hmm. The journey is long in this movie, but it's not 3 hours at least. 1983. Yeah, so by the time this came out on VHS, it was like 1985 or Laserdisc because movies did not come out like when movies came out in the theaters in the 80s. It took almost a year for it to come out on physical media. Hmm. Now you could get something on physical media like the next month. More traveling. Excuse me, I just got up from my slumber. That's why I'm doing this early because it's a long movie. If it's 2 hours, I have to do it early. I'm so drunk I can't even walk. Yeah, that's him for the whole movie. He's more annoying than people said with Jar Jar Binks. At least Jar Jar did something at the end of the movie. This it fool is just talks a lot. I knew there was something in this movie I didn't like, and it's not the production or the main actor or even Lisette Anthony. It's this thing because he sounds like he's been sucking on suds. Look at him. He's even disoriented. He's like, rubbers? Rubbers or robbers? I have no idea what they're saying, guys. This was a UK production. You could tell. There's only one American actor. There's Liam Neeson. Yep. Future Taken star and a star of every movie that ever, action genre that you've ever seen. No, don't you hurt that animal. Don't you dare. I don't like animals being harmed in a movie. It pisses me off because I have a little dog at home and I love so much. No animals were harmed in this movie, but Neeson is Irish. He's not British. There's Robbie Coltrane. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace, Hagrid. Rest in peace. So, yes, Josh, this is what he did decades before Harry Potter. And I had to acknowledge his death because, you know, he wasn't a problem in Harry Potter. Yeah, that's him. There he is, Liam Neeson. We at least we still have you, man. And he would do Star Wars. He was in Phantom Menace. There's a few recognizable people in this movie, but not a lot. Because Ken Marshall, I never saw him in another movie. This also has that labyrinth look, you know, where that was in '87. I know that for sure. Where it's a dark fantasy. This is not as dark as uh, Labyrinth. That's cool to see Liam Neeson in a really early role. This was like a decade before he did Star Wars and Schindler's List. You know, his more dramatic acting. Yes, I know Liam Neeson. I know what you mean. He's a good actor. He's like 70 now because when he did this, he was like 30. Yeah, maybe 29 or 30. I will find you and I will kill you. Yeah, such a great voice, man. I gotta see Taken again. There's a commentary in French I gotta see, but I'll just keep it low because it's such a good movie. It would be a shame to waste it. I can't see it in May though because that's Asian month and there's nobody Asian in Taken. Probably June. You notice that the movie mostly has dudes in it because there's not a lot in the '80s. Women were not stars of their own films in the '80s in fantasy films. It was usually a guy. Labyrinth was a exception because Jennifer Connelly's a teen in that movie, and the baby is a boy, and then you had the villain is a man though, and most of the puppeteers are men in Labyrinth. And this movie's cinema compared to some of the stuff we get in the theaters now, where a Minecraft movie is making almost as much as a Star Wars movie used to make, or the MCU, or even some of the DC films. It's making money, and I'm like, wow. A movie with one of the worst trailers of last year is making it's almost at $500 million. $500 million. That's crazy. Worldwide in just 2 weeks. Robbie Coltrane. He's not British. He was Scottish. I wanted cookies. Yeah. That Cyclops looks amazing. Good makeup effects in the movie. Like I said, there's not a lot of creatures because, again, this didn't have a $200 million budget like movies today. You with that Beatles haircut. You know the Beatles, like two of them were dead, right? By the time this movie came out, John Lennon was killed, unfortunately. And George Harrison, I think, passed away after that, too. Yeah, he deserves that. You get what you freaking deserve. I know. I know. I know. You don't have to tell me. Oh my god, it's so horrible. I'm like, God, this guy's so annoying. He's annoying, guys. Like, I've seen annoying characters in fantasy movies, but this is one of the most annoying characters I've ever heard. This was '83, so yeah, like I said, it came out the same year as Maybe if this came out in 1982 or 1981, it would have done better because 83 was the same year Return of the Jedi came out, and it was a huge hit and became my favorite movie of all time. Screw the sequel trilogy. That should have just been the last, movie. That's the end of the Skywalker saga to me. Then you get to Mandalorian. See, real locations. I miss movies that look like this. Because you see Avatar, Fire and Ash, when that trailer comes out, I'm like, oh yay, more CGI. CGI flames, CGI dragons, CGI Navi, red Navi. I don't care, James Cameron, do better. If this is what you're going to do until you die, hey, people will miss your old work, when you tried. Because you have Abyss, Aliens, the Terminator movies, the first two, and even Titanic, at least that looks like a film. It doesn't look like a CGI fest. That's a cool shot. The effects look fine for 1983. Because Willow was a few years after this. I can't do that because Val Kilmer was in it and he just passed away, so. They're going through a portal like a Doctor Strange movie. Because they all talk like that, seriously. Even in Deadpool and Wolverine, we had two Brits in the movie that talk like that. Paradox and Wiggle Fingers. Why? Does Marvel hate me that much? Not Sean Levy. I'm not going to blame him. Because he was like a last minute replacement for the director of the second movie. So I'm not going to blame him because he had a Britain free guy as well. But again, he's Canadian. So I'm not going to be upset at him. But writers, seriously, do you have to write characters this boring in the MCU? Not one British villain has been interesting. Not since Loki has there been a British actor that was good in the MCU as a villain. And I'm not counting Spider-Man No Way Home because that was a villain taken from another movie. I'm talking about an original villain. The villain in Guardians 3 sucked. The villain in the Marvel sucked. The villain in Deadpool and Wolverine sucked. Do I have to keep going? Yeah, they're not good actors when it comes to Brit. Even, what's his face? Um, I forgot. No, Anthony Starr he's Australian, so no. But usually these foreigners are not intimidating in the slightest. Who's this? The last night of the Crusades from Indiana Jones. I know this was before uh Last Crusade. This was before Temple of Doom came out. Hey, look, it's Kryptonite. Yeah, Dumbledore. He's not. He's not even Gandalf. He's just some old guy with a white beard. Yeah, the pacing is a little bit off. If you're looking for a fast-paced sci-fi action movie, this is not it. You'll have to see Guardians or Ice Pirates or some of the Star Trek sequels. I'm gonna do those in May. I'm doing Into Darkness in May, maybe Beyond in May, or I'll just do it in June. Nope, no podcast. Kande? God, he's annoying. Yeah, and I hope you choke on it. God, this guy's annoying. Even when he's talking, he has to with something. He has to. Even when he's eating, he has to talk. Who's this? Peter Pan? Yeah, he's dressed like Peter Pan. Yeah, he's wearing green and he's a little boy. Yeah, that's Peter Pan, guys. There's the kryptonite. Let's see what it says. Because if people have a better option, why are they going to go for this when you have Return of the Jedi? Just saying, guys, that movie was the biggest thing in the world in 1983. That is a good effect. It's a projection. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe if they make a Legend of Zelda like this, but they try, and Avi Arad stays out for the production, because I'm telling you, Avi, that guy is poison. There's the creature. You saw his hand. Yeah, because again, this didn't have a $200 million budget. Yes. Where? Emerald City was taken, so Emerald Temple in this. More horses, yeah. Hmm. I just hope it stops raining. It's been raining for days. It's been cloudy and raining for the last 2 days. And, ugh, it's just yucky. And Liam Neeson, yeah. We didn't know that Liam Neeson could be, such a great actor. Like here, he was an unknown, but then when he did, Star Wars and Taken and all those action movies that he's done recently, Dark Man, which is a different kind of superhero movie at the time. It was different than these other ones that we got now. It was darker and R-rated. There's the soldiers, because it basically has the elements of a Legend of Zelda. It really does. Because in Zelda, you ride a horse, not in the first game, but like in the later games, The Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, you ride on a horse. There's Peter Pan again. Spear. That's quicksand. Yep. Or there's the creature from Stranger Things again. Yep. There's another fight scene. Yeah. Hmm. And Robbie Coltrane would be, he'll be forever known as the Hagrid from the Harry Potter movies, because he did that after this, way after, like the late '90s when they started filming Harry Potter, or early 2000s. Hmm. It's mostly guys, but again, nowadays they always have to put like 5 female characters at least. There's not one is never enough. Yeah, he can talk, and the effects still look great. If this was done today, he's not 20 feet tall. It's like 6 feet tall. So that effect it still look good. People are like, oh, that looks cheap. I'm like, no, it looks practical. If this was done today, the Cyclops from Harry Potter is CGI. Most of the creatures in the movie are CGI. The basilisk and the what was it, Buckbeak, and the spiders. They're usually CGI. Some of it is practical, mainly the people in makeup, and all that. That's fine, but a lot of it is the centaurs. They're CGI, guys. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, all these franchises, fantasy franchises, use CGI. Dungeons and Dragons, and Harry Potter, and The Hobbit, and Lord of the Rings, and even the sequel trilogy, which is sci fantasy. Yeah, CGI. There's a lot of it. The Porgs. What do you think those are? CG. Even Mando, I admit it. It has CGI in it. A lot of the creatures are CG, but you can mix both that and practical effects, and it looks good. Mm-hmm. Because Lysette Anthony doesn't do much in the movie. She's just, I'm in love, and I get captured until the end of the movie. I do like her wardrobe in the film and her frizzy hair, but she's dubbed over for a reason. I wasn't upset about it because I'm like, everybody else in this movie has a British accent except for Ken Marshall. Even the actors that aren't British, like I said, Coltrane and Liam Neeson. That's a cool looking outfit. Let's just say she's not Elsa. Elsa, I just see her or hear her voice, and I'm like, I am enchanted, guys. No matter who plays Elsa in Disney or whatever, or in one of these Disney shows, there's the eye. Sauron? No, that's again different story. They really filmed in locations like this. That's what I miss about cinema when movies actually. It's quicksand. Yep, it's quicksand. Clash of the Titans. Well, that didn't have any CG because again, it was done with Ray Harryhausen's amazing effects and real work. That's what I miss. Nowadays you just get a computer VFX guy and your whole movie's done on a computer. Let me lie down because we're almost an hour in and we still got another hour to go, or more or less. If you haven't seen this movie, it's on Tubi for free, so you can watch it. It's not hard to find. You can find it to stream anywhere. And I want to definitely get that special edition DVD. I don't need this in 4K. This DVD looks fine. I don't know what the big deal is about 4K. I've seen movies in 4K on streaming, and I'm like, yeah, it looks nice, but I don't notice much of a difference. I just want it to look clear and sound good. That's it. It doesn't matter the resolution because really that doesn't matter to me. My eyes are perfectly working. They're 2020. I know when a movie looks good and when it looks like a bootleg. This is an intense scene, yeah. It's not as tragic as the never-ending story. The scene with Artax almost broke me when I was a kid because it's his horse and he dies. It's not permanent, mind you, but still, it's still a really dark scene. The '80s had more movies with guts. No, he's doomed. There has to be a body count in this movie somehow. No, he's sinking. He's gone. Hey, look, it's the white wizard. We're 56 minutes in, so we're about halfway through the movie. Long nails. Whatever you say, Peter Pan. Because people confuse Legend of Zelda. Like, why is it called Legend of Zelda if Zelda's the princess and not the main character? Well, because they didn't want to call it Link for some reason. Zelda sounds like a fantasy name, so. But there's like only a few games where she's the main character, like that recent Zelda game that was on the Switch. She's the main character, and not Link, even though he's mainly the main character in all these games, in all the other games like the original and Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. It's mostly Link because he's the main character. I would love to see Zelda done like this because it has a very devout fan base. Very. Like I'm a casual fan of Zelda because I played the games. I've beaten some of them on the NES and the SNES Classic, and I beat. I'm still trying to beat Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. But I get the fan base. I get it. So that's not the wizard. The wizard was killed. Yeah, the most annoying character is that magnificent whatever his name is, Logan, whatever, I don't know. He's just mouth. He's all mouth. He's not funny. He's just really annoying. The other characters at least are trying. He has those baby Yoda eyes, but he's not friendly. No, don't you dare. Spear. Again, good practical effects. I don't know why he's howling like a creature, but what kind of a creature is that? Wow. We're an hour in. Almost there. The changeling. Ching-a-ling, ching-a-ling, ring-a-ling, ring-a-ling. That's two people that have died so far. The wizard and yes, Peter Pan. You don't have to be alone. Yeah, she comes into the movie pretty late in the movie, the Widow of the Web. What? Yeah, more walking. Some people will find this boring because there's a lot of walking, but I sat through Lord of the Rings, guys, all three, in the theater, the extended cuts in the summer of 2011. So I know what a lot of walking is. I do it all the time. Puppy, puppy! Oh, that puppy is so cute. The animals are cute. What he turns into when he turns into an animal, that's cute. That dog is adorable. Puppy, puppy, puppy. That dog is so cute. Hello, puppy. That dog is so cute. I can't wait to meet my niece. She was born last week. I'm not going to show pictures of her until after some time has passed. We're an hour and 4 minutes in. The glaive. This is the only. This is the only other female character in the movie. Yeah, that's it. It's just Lisette, Anthony's character, and then her. Okay, that was kind of funny, but that's his only funny line in the movie. But when he turns into animals, I like the animals. That's a nice shot. Yep, they're eating. So there's some women in this scene. Yeah, it took an hour for that to happen. 1 hour. If this was if this was the recent Star Wars or Guardians, the women would have been in the first 30 minutes of the movie. Besides the main female character, that's the widow, isn't it? It's like medieval times here. Yes, yeah, he was faithful to the end with his wife, but he never married again because that hurt Liam Neeson a lot. He's kept acting. He just that broke him. His love life was never the same after that. You got to move on. I would have because I love women and the company of them. The production in this is really well done. See that was actually made. A far off shot. There's the creature. There's the creature's hand again. Because they really don't want to show this creature, even though they put it on the poster. A flower. There's the creature. An hour into the movie. Ugh. Oof. Seriously, does everybody want to grab this guy by the neck? It is. Again, it makes that sound. I don't know if that's a bird or something. This looks like a Guyver villain. from the Guyver or Guyver 2. We know a lot of them already were killed. We're 71 minutes in. We're almost done. Next time I'll choose a shorter movie to watch on a Sunday, only because I had to kill time. Because yesterday I put a movie that was only an hour and 12 minutes, so it wasn't enough to kill any time. The web. Hey, look, it's a character from Dune. Yeah, Dune came out like after this. The Lynch movie was, I think, in 1984. And then, of course, the Denis Villeneuve movie, where those movies look amazing. They do, but they're way too long, guys. The second part felt like it was 3 hours. How long is Doom Messiah going to be? 3 hours? Probably. I hope shorter, but, you know, one can only hope. Because sometimes these sequels are just way too long. Caught in a web. Not the internet, you know, an actual web. Like a spider web. Because there was no internet in 1983. It's a spider! Yeah, they don't have creatures until like the second half of the film. Because the first half it was just the evil those guards and yeah, stop motion animation because again there was no CG back in 1983. I could change my socks. I've had these socks on for 2 days. No, I don't want to join the Spider-Verse yet. No. That is a costume from Dune. The black outfit that Rebecca Ferguson wore. That web is awesome. It was done practically. Hold on. A skeleton. That looks like an ice spider. Bricka firecracker, sis boom bomb. Bricka firecracker, sis boom bah. I love that. Bugs Bunny, rah, rah, rah. Whee! Yep, you don't have spider powers here, buddy. There was also a spider in the Ewok adventure, Caravan of Courage. Hello, lady from Dune. Hmm. Dramatic turn. Almost done. Yikes. Staying in a spider web? Wow, so that's what she looks like? So, David Lynch and also Denis Villeneuve saw this movie and they took that look from this and put it in Dune. Because it's a black hat like that with a veil. Yeah, that's from Dune. Yeah, it's hard for any man to escape the web. Am I right, guys? Mm-hmm. It's almost 10 o'clock. Yep, touch the face. The face is a good thing. The face is a good thing. $80 in. I don't like sand. Yeah, you can't stop time, guys. That's the one thing that happens in life that you can't. It doesn't stop. It keeps going. You can push it back and forward, but you can't stop it. The clock keeps ticking. That's probably why TikTok is so busy every day because people do short things on that because time is of the essence. The Sands of Time. Okay, Spider. Because this scene has nothing to do with Ken Marshall's character. It's the old man, the Obi-Wan, if you will. Except here, it's not. It's just it's padding. Yeah, it's visually stunning, but again, it's padding. Look at that spider web. Whee! Goodbye, spider. It's too bad there's no battle with the spider. Let's get back to the plot, please. Mm-hmm. Really? Did you? Did you have to yell that? I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and it gets everywhere. Yep, of course he's gonna die, because Obi-Wan had to die in the original Star Wars. He lived longer than some other characters. The snow. There's the fortress. Not of Solitude, but the Dark Fortress, or whatever it's called. There's the horses, yeah, running in a row. So if Rise of Skywalker stole anything from this movie, it's just the horses, because there's space horses in that movie. Why? Because I don't know. We didn't have enough vehicle creatures to ride on in the original films or the prequels. So space horses. But that movie's dumb and it's overly long, like 2 hours and 20 minutes to tell a story that could have been done in less time. I don't know. Running stallions. It's a great shot of the horses running. If you're not a fan of characters just walking and riding horses, it's gonna bore you. But I've sat through longer movies than this. I like to appreciate the scenery. Run, horses. Excuse me. We're 87 minutes in. Little finches. I love little finches. Yeah. And these horses don't have saddles. So that one has a saddle, but yep, riding into the sunset or sun in the sun in the broad daylight. That's a blue screen, but again, it was at the time. That's a cool shot. It's almost done. We're 91 minutes in. We're approaching the third act, and then goodbye, Krull, for now. Look, they're flying. But these horses don't have wings. Like in that Thor movie I just saw yesterday. Tales of Asgard. The horses had wings. They're Pegasus. These are just regular horses. Score is really good. Whee! Flame on. Dun, 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 dun. And the kid's not annoying. More blasting. Dun, 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 dun. White. Robbie Coltrane, no. He kind of disappears in the movie. Like, he's in the beginning and then he just. Here he gets shot. Mm hmm. Yeah, rest in peace, Robbie Coltrane. We miss you, man. Yeah, this movie has to have a body count. It's mostly a bunch of men that die. No women die in this movie, except for that evil wench that was possessed by the main villain. There's a Cyclops again. 95 minutes in. It's almost 10 o'clock, yeah. This movie will end around 10:20 probably. Yeah. There's about 20 minutes left. I'm just glad this movie's not 3 hours. It's long enough. There's some padding in the middle of the movie. Like I said, with those girls, they're kind of pointless. They're just there to fill time because the men haven't seen a woman in like half the movie, and then the widow of the web is just in the film for like a few minutes and then disappears. It's no use. Yeah, another guy died. These soldiers don't have any personality though. At least the stormtroopers can talk, or the clone troopers. Even the battle droids can talk. I'm not crying. It's just I got a thing in my eye. Uh, I got some eye cookies. There's the fortress. $10. It's almost there. Again. Oh no, that guy died. Yeah. If they do Legend of Zelda, I doubt that Link is going to be silent because again, he did talk in the cartoon, so just as long as he doesn't sound obnoxious, because you can't have a silent protagonist in a video game movie. It's just not going to work. Even Lara Croft talks in the games. I gotta take off this sweatshirt. I'm dying. People blast the heat all the time. Ugh. Much better. Jeez. Feels like it's 90 degrees in here. Much better. See, I'm wearing my Star Wars shirt because this movie is inspired by it a lot. Of course, Liam Neeson has to die here, just like he did in Phantom Menace. A 100 minutes in. They should use the glaive more in the movie. That's the thing, that they have this mystical weapon and they only use it at the very end. A tiger, just like in Willow. They move so slow. The real tiger, too. Take that. That's right. Tony the Tiger just decapitated you. The glaive. Yeah, finally use it. An hour and 1 minutes into the movie. Whee! A portal. Yeah, it takes a long time for it to cut through. This isn't like a lightsaber where it could cut through easily. They barely escaped. The guns, they've stopped, remember? See, you got greedy. You should have just left your knife alone. You don't need it. You're not gonna fight him. Yep, of course he died. Finally. Oh, my love. And then there's the villain at the end, who just shows up at the very end. Yeah, they knew Lisette is not the best actress, so they reduced her screen time and dubbed her over. I wish she was dubbed over and Luke was talking now. See, he uses the glaive only in the third act. Even Luke uses the lightsaber a couple of times in Empire before he goes to the before he fights Vader at the end. I mean, he used it to get out of that out of the Wampa cave. And then Han uses it for like a second. Whee! That is a cool weapon. They just should have just used it in the movie more. I mean, he has it for an hour in the movie and doesn't use it once to kill a creature. It's kind of a waste, a missed opportunity for that thing. There's the creature. 1 hour and 45 minutes in. Whee! It's a boss fight, basically. Giant kaiju-type creature from the Guyver against your lead protagonist. Gotcha. Cut you. The creature looks fine. It's a guy in a suit. When you see much bad CG as I have, seeing a guy in a suit looks like Oscar-worthy compared to it. Yeah. You don't appreciate what you got until, the simple things in life until you see something like this. Where it's way better than a lot of fantasy movies we get now. Where the Movies have to have a girl boss or a preachy message, or it's overly long. This is long, but it's not overly long. It's not 2.5 hours. Right in the chest. And that's it. He kills the character, the guy with the glaive in less than a minute. So the ending, yeah, is a little anticlimactic, but it's not like this villain was gonna be have a an epic fight with him like Luke and Vader, because Vader didn't even die until the third movie. It's pretty abrupt, but again, they didn't have the biggest budget in the world. Yeah, might as well be using the Force to get that thing. These guys survived, and the little boy. That's it. And the magician guy, whatever his name is, the most annoying character in the movie. Again, the film could have just stopped right here, because you got your girl back. You killed the creature. The movie's over. I don't think you need any more. Of course, the creature's not dead yet. They got to show the creature at least one more time. They had to have a jump scare, even though this movie isn't scary. It's a PG, so it's not gonna scare anybody. Kids can watch this and not get any nightmare. Raiders of the Lost Ark is way more scarier than this movie, because that ending is just, you don't see it coming. Like, they open the ark and then their faces melt and blow up. Yeah, that is pretty intense for a PG movie in the 80s. This one is not as intense. You're a firebender? That's never explained. I get a woman feeling fire, but not literal fire. Yeah, he's a firebender. They did this at the end of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Uh, Yoga fire! Yoga flame! Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is never explained. But it's a fantasy movie. I could suspend disbelief. It's the end of the film, so I'll buy it. An hour and 50 minutes. It's well made, though. For a movie in 1983, there's a lot worse films that you could see out there. Mm-hmm. Plot convenience, but oh well. Josh didn't want to talk. It's fine. Could talk later. I got all day. The glaive is a cool weapon, but it should have been used more in the film. That's why when you have a weapon in a movie, use it more than once. I mean, Harry doesn't use his wand once at the end of the movie. He uses it throughout the films. Blood. Ergo. Yeah, we got to pad out the movies and running time a little bit more before we get to the end credits. We're going to get to 2 hours even if it kills us. Even though this movie did not need to be 2 hours. I think an hour and 45 minutes it would have been fine. There's some padding in the movie that could have been trimmed. That widow lady could have been cut from the movie. It's just to give the old man one more moment before he dies. Oh, my arm! Let's just say I like the Sinbad movies more than this because they're shorter. Even the longest movie's like an hour and 40 something minutes. So yeah, it's still under 2 hours. The people behind this movie thought padding out a movie would make it more epic. No, it's not more epic because Lord of the Rings are long, guys. They're very long. Even Dune, the Lynch version, or even the two Denis Villeneuve movies, there's a lot of scenes that could be trimmed. Anything subtitle could have been trimmed because it's not important. I don't want to read a movie. I want to watch it, not read it. Like when I want to read a comic, I'll read a comic. I don't have to read the panels on the screen. Just saying, guys. Granted, there's no subtitles in this movie. That's good, but there's padding. This and the last Hunger Games movie I saw, too much padding. You don't have to make a movie 2.5 hours to get to your point. Even Princess Bride is shorter than this movie. It's not 2 hours. It doesn't need to be. Or Labyrinth is that's also not 2 hours. When is Father's Day? Let me check. The 15th of June. Okay, so that's after Comic Con. The fortress is destroyed. It's a good practical effect, too. You don't have to pad this out. Like in the Hunger Games, uh, the prequel, yeah, there's a lot of padding in that, but I'll get to that when I eventually review it. Gotta drink some water. I've been talking for almost 2 hours without water, without Sparkle. That's a nice medal. It looks like Attack of the Clones. Even that movie is a little bit too long. That is a nice shot. I praise the movie's cinematography and the action scenes and the effects and things like that, and even some of the acting. But man, the pacing in this is, yeah, it's slow. It is, because this is before Lord of the Rings came out and Harry Potter. And even those had problems with pacing, especially Chamber of Secrets. Oh my God. I thought that movie was never going to end. When we got to the Basilisk, I'm like, can this movie please end? Because it took 2 hours to get to this thing. And I'm like, it's a lot. Even people that read the books are like, yeah, you didn't, it needed to be shorter. Narration. Yeah, so that was Crawl, guys. An hour and 57 minutes. Yeah, so almost 2 hours, but it's long. That's long, guys. And that's Crawl. It's a good movie. It's a decent movie, but like I said, it needed to be a little shorter. I don't think this needed to be almost 2 hours. So Liam Neeson was Keegan. The Cyclops was Bernard Bresslaw. Robbie Coltrane was Rune. Okay, that's it. Could shut this off now. It's a long movie. Yeah, an hour and 57 minutes. That's a lot to ask of an audience now. If it's not a Marvel or a DC movie, I don't care how long Superman Legacy is. It just don't pad it out. You have like 40 characters in this movie. I think you can give them each enough screen time and then tell them to leave, because this is Superman's movie, not a Justice League, reboot. But thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a much shorter movie after I go out and get some exercise. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.